Hello, I'm Gil Zilkha. Welcome to my channel, Essential Classical Music, where we look at the best recordings of the standard classical music repertoire. This video is taken out of my larger video on the great conductors and their best recordings. I hope you enjoy it. Next, let's talk about Englishman Sir Thomas Beecham, the grand old British conductor, who if you've ever seen an interview with him, he was just a riot in terms of his he was not one of these people in terms of his personality who tended to conform. He has this famous interview where he said, what does a young conductor do? He starts rehearsing the orchestra and then he stops them after a bar and he starts educating them. Fancy educating a body of people like their children. Me, I just do 2 rehearsals. We play it once through the whole bloody thing. They make a few mistakes. We fix things here or there. We play it all the way through again. They make no mistakes. Ready for performance. that was his personality. And it came through in his music making. He wasn't as big in the real heavy, dramatic, the Furtwängler type repertoire. He liked a little bit more the lighter fare. And a composer that definitely he fit very well with was Mozart. The elegance that he brought to Mozart. So I think the first place to hear Beecham, even though these are old recordings, is his Mozart symphonies. Starting with Symphony Number 29, and then going through those final 6 famous symphonies. He brought to all of them this kind of buoyant energy, this rhythmic bounce and elegance and charm. And even though the sound is limited, you hear the beauty of the phrasing and the playing. So an excellent place to start for Beecham. He did do a stereo recording of the last symphony, the Jupiter, number 41, which to me is one of the great versions of that symphony. And on this EMI disc, you can also get the Beethoven second, which I think is maybe the best interpretation of that work. Again, a lighter Beethoven work, more of a classical sounding, not as epic, but those are the ones that Beecham tended to specialize in. And then for Mozart, I also want to add the Magic Flute, Die Zauberflöte. Beecham was a really great opera conductor. Left us one of the iconic opera recordings of all time, Puccini's La Bohème. This one comes from the late 30s with I think an all-German cast with the Berlin Philharmonic. Of course, it was all German because the Nazis. But that's that aside. We would have really liked to have heard Richard Tauber, for example, sing Tamino. But he was nixed because he was Jewish, unfortunately. But that aside, it is a great set, and especially for the charm and elegance and insight that Beecham brought into the score. It's a fairly good sounding stereo recording for its time. Now, Beecham was also a champion of Sibelius, the 20th century Finnish composer. And we don't have, we have like the 4th, I think, was recorded in studio. But for the 2nd, we have one that was recorded live in the 50s that, to me, is the most exciting Sibelius second I've heard. It's just really knocks your socks off. You can even hear Beecham at one point exhorting the orchestra for more. It's just a real scintillating interpretation. Unfortunately, a little rough sounding, but really unmissable if you love Sibelius. Now, we mentioned Beecham's elegance. That was kind of tailor-made for this work, the Schubert Fifth. It's got that opening movement. Bum, 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 bum. It just really puts you in a good mood. Tailor-made for Beecham. Now, he was also very well suited to French repertoire, which again tended to be less like heavy and Germanic, a little bit more on the charm and color. And so he gave us a great Bizet Symphony in C, fairly well recorded, and just wonderfully paced and just wonderful rhythmic buoyancy and charm throughout that really will make you love this work. And then finally, let's mention a less known composer that Beecham again championed, that he made iconic recordings of in the studio, and that's Frederick Delius. These are mainly orchestral miniatures. They're not heavy. One of my favorites is from the Florida Suite. There's this movement by the river. And kind of like that Schubert theme, it just puts you in a good mood. Ba da 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 da. And Beecham just beautifully phrases it. You can tell everyone's in a jolly mood, and you should be too after you hear it. This is a really famous orchestral recording for good reason. There's of course not a lot of Delius on record, but Beecham not only championed it and brought it to the public, but he also brought this inimitable charm that really fit the music well. Thanks for watching. I want to wish you all a great day and happy listening.